live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, with 2 weeks to go before trick-or-treaters hit the streets, Lago Marcinos will join us with a look at some of the most popular options for Halloween. Plus, we're continuing our Ask the Experts week with Ace Waterproofing and Basement Solutions, how to protect your home from harsh elements like heavy rain and melting snow. And later, expert advice for your wedding day. Jenna Eden Designs is here with a look at the bridal boutique and alteration options available. You're watching Quad Cities Live on this Tuesday, October 15th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier. Kyle has the day off. Well, tomorrow, October 16th, is World Food Day. It is a time for advocacy and education focusing on diversity, nutrition, affordability, accessibility, and the safety of food. Nina Struess is with Prairie Rivers Network, and she is joining us in the studio today. Nina, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So much to talk about with World Food Day happening tomorrow, so you still have plenty of time to prepare if you're watching right now. Getting started with the basics. Food, it is a basic human need. I think a lot of us look at it like that, like air, water, but you know what, not everybody has the same accessibility to it.
Yeah, definitely, right? Because we do see that as that key point.
Yes.
And you know, we brag so much about how we produce all of this food globally, right? Enough to feed our world's population, yet we have over 700 million people that experience hunger in the world. And then if we bring that even further closer to home in the United States, about 1 in 7 people experience hunger.
It's incredible. We're making more than enough globally, farmers are, but there are some things preventing that food from getting to the people who need it the most. And so, you know, there's a lot of reasons for that, and we can go into some of those things, but we're also going to talk about healthy diets today.
Yeah.
And how healthy diets are achieved. So, and there is kind of a long list for that.
Yeah, and so I've obviously come on here in the past and talked about healthy diets in one way, shape, or form, focusing more on nutrition and the vitamins and the minerals, which are incredibly important too, but also part of that healthy aspect of a diet too is making sure there are certain components as part of it. So we want to have that diet be varied, so the diversity of it is really important. Whether or not, you know, you have fruits and vegetables, whole grains, of course those components, but also really ensuring that there's adequacy too. And so, but also balanced is going to be a really good component.
And that differs from a varied diet as well.
Yes.
Because when we talk about varied, we're talking about not eating the same thing every day. And I think a lot of people will eye roll, but you know what, you have to take yourself outside of your equation and think about, you know, some of the people that don't have access to a whole lot of things. They are eating the same things every day.
Right. And that is part of why we really want to be advocating for and talking about this on World Food Day, but also outside of that as well, and that not everybody is able to experience what a healthy diet looks like equally.
Sure. And so when you say balanced, what do we mean by that?
Right. So in the nutrition world, we talk about it from my food pyramid, as old one, my plate, but really also too making sure that our populations have enough in terms of your basic nutrients. Yeah. So things like fat and protein and carbohydrates and calories, making sure that there's enough, or not necessarily too little as well, to really create that balance on the plate too. So it's not just about the you know, nitpicking of the specific types of foods, but making sure that there's just enough as well of those different types of nutrients.
And absolutely. And then you know, another point that goes along with that is making sure that our diets are adequate for our age groups.
Yeah, and also to stages of life. So you know, our youth and our older adult populations have different needs, as well as people who may be pregnant or or be going through some sort of a disease, cancer, those types of things require different types of nutrients within our body. And so making sure that we are being able to receive those types of nutrients, having enough calories as well, is incredibly important for the growth, development, and fighting off those things too.
Yeah, it really gets you thinking. And you provided some statistics for us too, the reality of healthy diets. This one was kind of shocking to me. More than 2.8 billion people, they're not able to afford a healthy diet.
Right.
That's an incredible statistic there. And we narrowed it down even further. And in the Quad Cities, which I think you mentioned this when we started our segment, more than 25% of people in the Quad Cities surveyed consider themselves food insecure.
Yeah, and food insecure is one of those things where maybe not a lot of people understand what that means.
Sure.
And so food insecurity really focuses more on people who maybe don't know where their next meal is coming from.
Right.
They at least have one, if not several meals per day where they're not sure where that is going to come from. And I also really love mentioning too, like, food insecurity doesn't have a face.
Right.
It doesn't have a look. We like to think it does.
You might think it does, but you're right.
It does not.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really humbling.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit now about how we can take action, and there's something really cool that we're going to talk about at the end of this segment. Raising your voices. That's the first way to take action.
Advocating.
So advocating, talking about all of this. Choosing local and seasonal foods, and you brought some with you today.
I did, yeah. So choosing foods that are in season really helps to keep not only the nutrition more vibrant, it helps to create variety too. So if you get stuck in that way, you can kind of rotate through the seasons, and it helps support our local agriculture sectors too, our local farmers.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And along with that, supporting local food organizations. So one example would be like Riverbend Food Bank, of course, but also Nest Cafe.
Nest Cafe. We have the Food Rescue Partnership is really great too in helping decrease food waste. We have Palomares, which is another really great organization that's worked with local community gardens. So there's a lot of really great resources here in the Quad Cities that are really helping to fight against food waste, food insecurity, food access, food affordability, and such.
1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted, which is something that I learned just by reading your research, Nina. So, and then getting the kids involved, which we really love to bring it back to the kids anytime Nina's on the show. So one way to get kids involved is to participate in something called the World Food Day Poster Contest, and they can start doing that anytime now.
Yeah, so the Food and Agriculture Organization has this contest that's available, and it's really neat because kids can create a poster that really showcases their favorite recipe or their favorite dish, because it's one way you can advocate is by talking about those foods that you grew up with that have meaning and memories with them too. And so designing that, but also tying in some of those things you mentioned in the beginning, the diversity, nutrition, affordability, accessibility, and the safety as well. And, you know, creating something, the advocacy through art.
Yeah, advocacy through art. I love that. It's a way for kids, really from a very young age, kindergarten age, all the way up through high school, to really kind of figure out what food actually means to them. And, you know, it's a way to look at it in a way that you won't take it for granted.
Right.
So that's important. The deadline for entries, you still have plenty of time, is November 8th. So if you want to get the kiddos involved in creating that. And before we let you go, you also brought this activity book with you. This is something we can all access?
Yeah, so that is through the same organization that's doing the poster, but we'll also make sure that we have it on a blog post on our website as well. Really great little pamphlet that goes through and talks about the right to food. So not only supporting the organizations that we talked about, you know, in the community and actually doing something and going there, volunteering, what have you, but also bringing it home and understanding why these organizations are important, what their missions are doing and they're trying to accomplish, and what that looks like even just on a smaller scale for kids to understand, because they're our future. They're
our future, and you may even get a little philanthropist out of this, and a little advocate yourself.
And you're going to learn too.
Exactly. There's so much that we don't know. Like I said, even reading through your research and your information for today, a little bit eye-opening. So yeah, great information. And if you want to learn more about the mission of Prairie Rivers Network and how you can help make an impact right here in the Quad Cities, just visit prairierivers.org. Nina, as always, a wealth of information. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it. Coming up on Quad Cities Live, Halloween is still a couple of weeks away, but you can indulge in some sweet treats right now by making a trip to Lago Marcinos. We'll take a closer look next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
It's caramel apple season, which means folks are flocking to Lagomarsino's, a local family-owned candy store that has been around since 1908. Joining us is Katie Lagomarsino-Otten. Katie, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We know that exciting things are happening when we've got Lagomarsino's on QCL. It really is a special time of year for the business.
Yes, it is.
Lots of people excited and coming in, I'm sure.
Yes, it's caramel apple season and it's in full swing for sure.
It is in full swing. I've seen a lot of Lagomarsino's caramel apples at different events. I know we've got a zombie run coming up, and you guys are part of that, of course, because that goes through the village of East Davenport. So let's get started. You brought lots of goodies to talk about today. Let's start with the caramel apples, which you brought some here, and they all look pretty different. So let's go through the different types.
So what makes our caramel apple so good is the homemade caramel. So my dad and husband are busy making that caramel every day, dipping the apples. But we have 4 different kinds. We use Honeycrisp apples for all of our apples. But of course we have our plain caramel apple. Then we have one with crushed peanuts. Then we have our chocolate pecan butter crunch drizzled with chocolate. That looks good. And then we have our chocolate with sea salt.
That one would probably be my pick right there. So you use Honeycrisp apples, which they're just so sweet, and they hold up so well. And you make your caramel. So you guys have been doing that for what I assume is 100 years.
Yeah. Forever.
Amazing. We won't ask you to give away any secrets, but so people can just stop by and pick these up.
Yeah, you can order online or come in store. We are shipping nationwide with our caramel apples, so if you have a loved one that's far away, we are shipping across the United States.
Oh, look, and we're seeing the video of you guys dipping the apples. This is like, this should be on TikTok if it's not. Oh, it is. Look, ASMR. It's perfect. Okay, so this is great because I didn't know about the shipping, but I was on your Facebook page a little bit earlier today, and I had like seen so many posts from people that are like, they clearly look like they're in somewhere sunny and not the Midwest, and they're like, we got our shipment of caramel apples from Lagomarsino's, like cannot go a season without them. Yeah. So you must hear that a lot. When did you guys decide to start doing that?
So we've been shipping apples for about 10 years now, but I think it's really picked up in the last few years. Yeah. Everyone's like, they
need a piece of home.
Yeah, it stresses my mom out a little bit, but we tell her, don't worry, it's fine, we'll help you out, because she is our shipping department. So.
That is so cute, really keeping it all in the family. So these are the little boxes that your caramel apples will come in when you pick them up individually, of course. So let's talk about some of the other sweet Halloween treats that you have on the top shelf here. This is actually new this year.
Yeah, so this is one of our brand new chocolate molds that we do. It's the little chocolate ghost. It's solid, and then it has a painted pumpkin. So that one's brand new and super cute this year.
It really is. Like, I don't think we talk enough about like the little artistry that goes along with what you do, because that is what makes it even more special.
Our ladies over our Davenport location do all the molded, and they are fantastic. They take so much time and effort to make these all look so fantastic.
Well, they're doing a wonderful job. They look beautiful. I think that's a huge part of it. And then, yes, talk about what we have down here.
So we have jumbo marshmallows that are dipped in chocolate and decorated to look for Halloween. So we have a little Frankenstein, a mummy, and then a little candy corn guy.
A little candy corn guy.
And they're just so cute.
They're very, very cute. They do such a good job with these. So my daughter every year gets like a little package from, I will call her like a neighbor. She's basically like another grandma. You know, and she gets all the little kids a little gift thing from Lagomarsino's, because they get very few trick-or-treaters at their house, right? So she gives them a little trick-or-treat bag with Lagomarsino's items, and I will say, my daughter started getting them when she was probably a year old and couldn't eat these yet, but I could eat them. So I have tasted many of these, and not only are they cute, but they're amazing.
Well, thank you.
They're like decadent, they're perfect. Okay, and not only is it spooky season and fall season, but fall season also means it's football season.
Absolutely.
College football, NFL football. This football that you see on the table here, that is made of chocolate. I think it looks exactly like football.
So it's like perfect for any like game night you're hosting, or if you're going over to someone's house, or it's perfect for high school footballs for teams or coaches. They have been flying this season.
I can imagine. So this is not one solid piece of chocolate, of course.
No, it is semi-solid. So but you can still smash it, and there's still a lot of chocolate
That's the most fun.
So.
No, that's a ton. Yeah, that's the most fun thing that you can do. I think you guys do hearts or something similarly for potentially for Valentine's Day.
So we do it for Easter.
Okay, that's what it is.
That is our top
the
one.
Easter egg.
Yep.
And my daughter took a little hammer for Easter, and she smashed up her Easter egg.
It's a little surprise.
And we were eating chocolate for more than a week.
Yes.
Fully. So are those the two sizes?
Yes, these are 2 sizes. So these aren't filled with chocolates on the inside, so it's just a semi-solid chocolate piece.
Perfect.
But we could maybe talk to the ladies and see if you're wanting some chocolates inside.
No, I think this is absolutely perfect. It is the size, the larger one, I swear to you, is pretty much the size of an actual football. What a great idea. And the smaller ones for just individual gifts, maybe for a team or something, I think is just perfect. And you guys are involved in all types of fall events and Halloween events coming up. So, of course, keep Lago Maracinos in mind. They have 2 locations, making it really easy to stop by for a sweet treat. So, of course, you have your store, which is on 5th Avenue in downtown Moline, very historic there, and another one on 11th Street in the village of East Davenport. We've got those addresses on your screen right now, as well as the phone numbers if you want to put in an order, and all the hours. Katie, thank you so much for not only coming in and talking about this, but thank everybody at the stores for putting this together for us today.
Well, thanks for having us, and I will make sure to let them know.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. They've done a wonderful job. We appreciate it. Well, still to come on QCL, a visit from an adoptable 4-legged friend from Animal Aid Humane Society. That's coming up next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
A Moline animal shelter that helps pets find new homes is actually planning on moving into a new home at some point as well. Joining me now is Vicki Sanders from Animal Aid Humane Society. And Vicki, well, welcome back. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we appreciate you being here. And you brought an adoptable 4-legged friend with you. So who is this?
Mariah. She's a 10-month-old kitten, female, spayed, all ready to go. And she's got the most pretty eyes.
Yes.
They're two-tone, the dark blue around the pupil and then the lighter blue the other. She is just pretty.
She's a pretty kitty for sure. You said she's part Siamese?
Part Siamese. That's what gives her the blue eyes and the cream colors.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what's her personality like? I mean, she seems very
sweet. She's pretty mellow. She's not a wild child yet.
Not a wild child. You said 10 months old. So she is available anytime someone wants to come.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will be taking her to Petco Moline down on 16th Street when I leave here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they can go see her there. And if they're interested, that would be great.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we've got Mariah in the TV studio right now, but if you really are in love with her like we all are here, you can go see her in person and see what she's like. If you go to Petco on 16th in Moline, right after Vicki leaves here today. Talk a little bit about the other cats you have, because you have plenty of them there. Of course, kind of a crazy kitten season several months ago, and that doesn't really go away.
Yeah. Well, just to inform people, females that are not spayed can go into heat every month for the rest of their life.
Oh, wow.
So that's why there is so many kittens, and it's ongoing.
Yeah.
You always have a busy time, but then they're still having kittens. As soon as somebody takes the kittens away, they're going into heat right away.
Yeah. So yeah, it's problematic, which is why we're always, talking about spaying and neutering your pets. But you do have plenty of cats and kittens also available at the shelter, because I have a feeling someone's going to scoop up Mariah very, very quickly. Roughly, how many do you have there? I was on your website, and I would say there's probably a couple dozen.
Well, there's, oh gosh, I can't remember at the shelter if we have like 5 or 6, and then we have a few up at Teskey's Moline too, that we have there that we adopt out. Okay. They're not for sale, but they're adoptable through us at Teskey's. So
that's a nice partnership to have. Yeah. Probably too, because there's not always that much space in a shelter, which is why fosters in places like Teskey.
Get calls. I got a call yesterday that there was a dog in somebody's car, and I says that's probably because the shelters are full and they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
so,
it's a problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you also have dogs at the shelter for anybody that has, you know, never seen you on the show before.
Yeah.
You have some dogs that are adoptable there as well. So we kind of alluded to it when we opened our segment, but there's some really cool things that are in the works for Animal Aid Humane Society. You guys are looking toward a big move eventually.
Yes, we just purchased some property in Milan.
Wow, congratulations.
And it's going to be right across from UPS in Milan.
Okay.
And we're going to build a new shelter.
You're going to build
so it's official.
That is so exciting. Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah. Talk about the reasons why, you know, it really is so important to have that space.
Well, we've run out of space. We're just limited to how many you can have in so many square feet. So, and there's just so many unwanted animals out there, dogs and cats, and you know, we'll just have some more room. And then of course our building is really old and it's time for a new shelter. So, you know, and then we get all these kittens in, like we got 10 or 7 just from this one person. That's how many came at this litter. And we had to fix them. And she was just kind of overrun. And she had some they're wonderful pets, so she took very good care of them. Yeah. So we got this one here. Of course, she has siblings. Okay. So for this litter, we have a 2-for-1 special.
You know what? I'm glad that you said that, because I've heard this before, that it's oftentimes, if not all the time, better to get 2 kittens at once if you're going to go for
especially if you don't have anything at home. No, you mean no other animals.
No other animals at home. So they kind of
and they keep each other company. Okay. Sleep together. You know, they do. The kittens and cats just love being together. You know, so
that is so
you're at work all day, they're keeping each other company.
That's amazing. So. Well, you know, for the big build that's going to be, you know, happening eventually, I was noticing online people can actually make donations toward that. Like, you know, all shelters, I would say, especially, you know, a nonprofit shelter, they're always taking donations for different things. I mean, you talked about how you had to spay and neuter the cats that came in. All of that costs money. So how can people make sure that they can help Animal Aid, whether they want to help with, you know, medical stuff for the pets that come in, or if they just want to help you build the new shelter? Yeah,
they could give us a call. We have PayPal on our website, and MolineAnimalAid.org. And then as we get closer to building, we're hoping to have volunteers that will come and help donate some of their time. You know, not only maybe a little money, but also their time to help build. And maybe we could, you know, finish up the insides. It's just a big plan.
It's a big undertaking. It's a big plan. You know, but you guys are trying to get it all done. Well, here is the Facebook page as well. So if you want to learn more about fundraising events, if you want to learn more about the adoptable pets at the shelter, I mean, they're always posting them on the Facebook page. Just visit Animal Aid Humane Society there on Facebook. We have that web address at the bottom of your screen. You can also visit the website that Vicki mentioned. Vicki, thank you for being here today. And Mariah, thank you so much for visiting us today.
Appreciate your help.
Yes, of course. And we would love an update on what happens with Mariah, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that want to go visit her after this. Thank you so much. Coming up next on QCL, if you're dealing with uneven concrete inside or outside your home, you could also be dealing with drainage issues and safety hazards. We'll learn more about solutions when Ace Waterproofing joins us after the break. If uneven concrete outside or inside your home is causing floors to sink, drainage issues, or any safety hazards, it's time to get the problem fixed. And here to help us out is Adam Ellis from Ace Waterproofing and Basement Solutions, along with his son, Carson. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us again.
Yes, of course. We're glad you're back. Always a lot of really great stuff to talk about. This is our Ask the Experts week after all. So this is really our opportunity to learn about all kinds of home renovations and things like that. Now, we brought Carson here today, which we're so excited. Carson is used to being on TV. He's been in commercials before, as he told me. But tell us a little bit about the name Ace Waterproofing, because that also has something to do with Carson.
Absolutely. So the name is my 3 kids, Aiden, Carson, Emma, in order from youngest to oldest. So Carson's
right in the middle?
Right in the middle, the C in Ace.
Yes. Do you ever help Dad on jobs and different things like that?
Yes.
You do. Yeah, I bet you're just a ton of help. That's really great.
He is an extremely good help here.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're happy that you came today. And your company, Adam, it can really help us with a variety of home and improvement issues. Today, we're focused on concrete raising.
Yep.
So talk about the reasons why somebody would want or need to do that.
So concrete raising is especially prevalent right now heading into winter. You know, nobody wants the trip hazards. Nobody wants a spot that'll pull up with ice from water collecting or hitting with your shovel or your snow blower. So it's a great time of year to get it taken care of before the snows come.
Okay, well that is good to know. I think a lot of times we see different issues in and around our homes and we aren't really sure when we need to tackle it or when the best time of year is to tackle that. So that's good. And you're highlighting concrete raising with polyfoam.
Yep.
So why is now a good time to use something like that, or what is that?
So the polyfoam, the advantage with polyfoam over your typical mud jacking is we inject a polyurethane foam that the poly will last the lifetime underneath that slab. What's also great with that is your driveway is ready to drive on as soon as we're done with the job, essentially. As soon as we're pulled out of there, it's ready to use.
Really? Okay, so a quicker process than I would assume. So is it similar to mud jacking, this process?
Very similar, just smaller holes and a little bit better lasting product that's not as prone to freeze thaw, that can allow that slab to continue to move as much.
Okay, well, interesting. And it's a lot faster from what it sounds like than mud jacking as far as use is concerned afterward.
Yep, mud, you typically want to wait 24 hours to drive on, whereas again, the foam, 15 minutes, it's ready to go. You can use your sidewalk or driveway like normal. And as soon as we're packed up and out of there, it's ready to go.
It's ready to go. That is huge. Okay, so why do you feel like, or I guess, can you explain why this process is more popular than just replacing everything? I think, especially if somebody is really unclear on what they need to be doing or what the problem is in the first place, they think, well, I just need a whole new, concrete in my whole driveway.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of advantages to repairing versus replacing. And the biggest one is being able to use that same day, whereas if it's a tear out and redo, you've got 2 weeks before you can drive on it again, on top of dealing with the big headache of everything tore out and the mess that comes along with it. So the advantages are that it's ready to use same day, and it's typically a third to half the cost of replacement.
That's what was going to be my next question, is the price difference on that. So it would be much cheaper.
Typically much cheaper.
Typically much cheaper. Okay. And how long does the actual process take? I mean, I know that you can use your driveway pretty much 15 to 20 minutes after you guys are done, but the actual work itself, I'm assuming, depends on the type of project.
Yep. Same day typically, unless it's a large project, but anything residentially, anything around most people's homes, we're in and out in 2 to 6 hours.
That is, that's less than a work day.
Yep. Yeah, usually we get it all taken care of while you're at work. You get back and you get
a whole new situation going on at home.
Exactly.
So oftentimes, I mean, this would be considered a relatively big project, I think, for a lot of folks, and people are worried about committing to something like that. But you do offer a warranty.
We do. Yep. Okay. We do a 2-year warranty. So if that concrete settles any time within 2 years, no questions asked, we'll come and repump it for you.
Okay. So talk a little bit about why we should do this now and not wait. I mean, aside from the time of year, this is just a good time for you guys to come out.
So one of the biggest reasons is anytime you have any issue going on with your driveway foundation, any of that, this is the best it's ever going to be. It's never going to get better unless you do something to resolve the issue. It's only going to get worse. So right now is the cheapest it will technically ever be before it continues to get worse.
That makes sense. So the longer you wait, the more it deteriorates and the bigger of a job that you may have on your hands. Okay, so while we have you here, let's go over some of the other really great services that you offer at ACE.
So we do just about anything that has to do with masonry or concrete, but the biggest thing right now heading into winter also is what we do in basements. Being able to take care of any of the moisture issues. Sealing up crawl spaces is a big one this time of year. It's important to do because a lot of crawl spaces aren't insulated, allowing the air from the outside to come in and ultimately affecting the air quality in your home. So anything to do in your basement, if you've got water, bowing walls, structural issues, we can take care of those.
Well, on top of that too, I mean, if you have air coming in somewhere in your basement in the middle of winter, I mean, that can cause all kinds of problems when it comes to pipes and things like that, especially if you're like me and you have one of those bare bones basements.
Oh yeah.
It might be absolutely something to consider. Okay, well, for a list of the variety of services offered through ACE, or if you want to schedule a free estimate, all you have to do is visit the website, which is acewbs.com, with that C, of course, standing for Carson. Carson, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You did a great job. Thank you.
He's a little nervous.
No, he's doing great. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate all the information, of course, as always. All right, well, coming up on QCL, we are getting some more expert advice on everything bridal. From wedding dresses to alterations, Jenna Eden Designs will join us next. Coming up tomorrow on Quad Cities Live, the weather is changing, which means we are in the market for things like jackets, hats, gloves. The Black and Gold Shop will join us for ways to support our team and keep warm. Plus, Ask the Experts Week continues with affordable metal manufacturing, why metal is becoming the go-to material for exterior projects. That and much more tomorrow on QCL. Well, planning a wedding is exciting and romantic, but it can also be super stressful. That's why a local bridal business is stepping in to help out. We want to welcome Jenna Vermost, owner of Jenna Eden Designs. Jenna, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
We are so excited to talk to you. Congratulations on your business. I think I was reading that you've been open in your spot now for about a year as of September.
Yep, September 21st was the first year anniversary of the bridal side. I've been doing the alterations and custom bridal for over 4 years now.
You have, and I can't wait to talk to you about all of that. You're a super, super talented person. So it's located in Geneseo,
yes.
Right on State Street, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the shop.
Yeah, so the shop is located in the Geneseo house, right above the cellar. It's on the 3rd floor of the building. Nice. The building used to be a hotel way back in, I think, the 1800s.
Wow.
So it's almost 200 years old, lots of character. My shop, the goal was kind of to create a space that transports you to a Parisian atelier, kind of gets you in the mood to shop and relax, enjoy the quality time together with family while you're picking out one of the most special garments you'll wear in your entire life.
You'll ever wear, and not only shop, but shop for something very, very special. So we're seeing some images right now of your beautiful space. Talk about how you got started, because I think your story is really cool. You learned to sew at a very young age.
Yes. So my granny gave me her old sewing machine when I was around 7 years old. I have dreamed of becoming a fashion designer since I can remember, probably around 5 years old. My aunt and my grandmother created the name Jenna Eden Designs when I was about 5 or 6.
Okay.
So I could use that when I was a famous fashion designer. Nice. Like when I was older, and it just kind of stuck. And so growing up, I would make my homecoming and prom dresses, do alterations for friends and family, and then I went to school for fashion design. Had an internship lined up in New York after I graduated from college. I graduated though in 2020, so
we know what happened there.
Yep, my path kind of got redirected, but in the best way. My parents, I was living from home, working out of my bedroom, doing alterations for family friends, making wedding dresses for friends in college, and things just kind of exploded from there. Yeah. I really appreciated the word of mouth in the small town of Geneseo. Everyone just kind of started reaching out, which is a huge blessing.
That's amazing. And creating a wedding dress, to me, I mean, that is incredible. What is the feeling when you see a friend, a family member, an acquaintance wearing something that you thought up and created and helped, make come to fruition?
Yeah, it's really a feeling like no other. Anything with bridal, I feel very fortunate to be involved in bride's special day.
Yeah, involved in a really big way.
Yeah, and I have brides come in, and there was one girl I'll never forget. She said she's never felt more beautiful, and I cried.
That makes me want to cry. Yeah, that's really special.
So being part of someone's special day in that way, and having them trust me in a big way with their dress is really,
it's big. It's very big. Well, you brought 2 beautiful wedding gowns with you here today. So talk about these and why you wanted us to see these. I mean, the veil on the one is incredible. So these are what you carry in the shop.
Yep. So in my shop, I carry a large selection of gowns by female-owned businesses and designers. So these two I brought because these are from two of my favorite brands that I carry, Miss Scarlett and Dama Couture. So these two brands are, I'm one of 3 boutiques in the U.S. to carry Dama Couture dresses.
I was on Dama's website today looking at all the wedding
showstoppers. They're incredible.
They are.
So that one is a husband and wife owned business out of Poland, and a portion of their proceeds goes to animal shelters in Poland. Their gowns are also something like no other. Being in alterations for almost 5 years now, wedding dresses sometimes can start to look the same. So this designer features a lot of dresses that are truly unique, just like every bride is unique, and just like every love story is very unique. And then the other gown is by Miss Scarlett. So she's based in Sydney, Australia. Her brand is named after her daughter, Scarlett, and all of her dresses are also named after family, friends.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's the one we're seeing on the screen right now. That one is beautiful. If you could see the buttons that go all the way down the back, really incredible. And I want to make sure that we get to a couple of other things. So you not only have wedding gowns, you can help people with bridesmaids dresses, mothers of the bride, flower girl dresses, and also customizable. So when somebody comes in, they say, I'm absolutely head over heels in love with this dress, but I need to have sleeves. Is that's something you can do?
Oh yeah, easy. Yep. So we can change up necklines, add or take away sleeves, change up the colors of dresses, so lining colors, backs, kind of whatever you can imagine.
That's
we can
amazing.
Make it happen.
Amazing. And I think one of the coolest things that you do is you create heirloom pieces. So we're talking about, you know, if you have a dress that grandma or mom wore and you want to incorporate that, talk about the ways in which you can do that.
Yeah, so we do a lot of robes to get ready in, like the morning of your wedding, out of a mom's or grandmother's dress. Right now you're seeing a rehearsal dinner dress that was made after or out of her mother's dress, and we also made 2 flower girl dresses out of that same dress for the bride's nieces. And so robes, rehearsal dinner, reception dresses, bouquet wraps, full-on wedding dresses.
You are talented. Yes, you are super duper talented. I could look at these before and afters all day long. I really, really could. And you should definitely give her a call. The business, Jenna Eden Designs, is located on State Street in Geneseo, Illinois. If you want to make an appointment, just call the number on your screen. You can also follow along on Facebook or visit on the web by heading to JennaEdenDesigns.com. Jenna, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. Your local news at 4 is up next.